What's going on, people? It's your boy, Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. We are on the road to Exxxotica DC 2022. We had so much fun. As nerds, we changed that paradigm. It used to be a taboo and not cool to be a nerd. F that. You can be a nerd. We can rule the world. We can have fun. And last year when we went out to Exxxotica DC, we saw that, a lot of these adult stars are just like us. We shouldn't be different. We should be all on the same playing field. Let's change that taboo. And as you know, we're heading back. We're going to have some fun at Exxxotica DC 2022. And along the way on this road to Exxxotica, I'm bringing in some amazing guests, some beautiful people, some lovely people, some people that are their authentic selves. I can't love the adult industry more because you get realness when you talk to these people. And so my special guest is the beautiful Jessica Starling. You're about to see her in just a second. Here we go. Boom, she's on your screen. Right now, there's air horns going off, Jessica. Like it's a club, but I'm going to put it in post so you're not deaf.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I like the consideration.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. So as I was looking at a little bit of your bio. You're a nerd too, right? And you're
hell yeah, I am.
With like video games and all that stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I game a lot. Yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna have to exchange gamer tags. We might have to do a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. So tell me about your journey, if you don't mind. I again, we're spotlighting beautiful entertainers like yourselves and just being your authentic self. There's always been this taboo as nerds. You can't, man, you can't like Marvel, or you can't be, it's not cool to be a nerd, but nerds are cool. And
I adult think so.
Industry should be cool as well. Hell yeah, let's go. Especially in these pandemic times, so many of my friends started up their OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
And I admire them so much that being your own boss, controlling your own destiny, your future is where it's at. And so my props to you. And for all those that don't know, check out Jessica's OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessica Starling. I'm going to have the link in the description below. So please go over there, subscribe to the homie, and send her our love and your love.
Thank you.
No, Jessica, so tell me,
yes.
Being a nerd, tell me about your journey.
So my first video game I ever played, I was 5. I started playing Pokemon Red and Yellow.
Love that.
Yes. So, my Game Boy Color, just like playing that like all day, every day because I loved it. And I played mostly Pokemon, and then I got like an Xbox when I was like 8 or something like that. And then, like Tony Hawk's Underground and stuff like that.
Did you have that little board? Remember they had that peripheral?
No.
That you can
oh my God. I wish I had that. Little 8-year-old me like breaking bones on the skateboard.
That's what I was scared about.
Yeah, no. So I understand why I didn't have it, but like I wanted it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, after that, I just, video games forever. I really liked anime. I was super into Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it just continued, and now I mostly game on like PC. But like I've been a nerd forever. I like video games. I like anime. Yeah, and just other various. I like Lord of the Rings.
Love it. So do you actually mix any of that with like your OnlyFans? Because there's I met a lot of cosplayers that went from cosplaying to, getting into adult business, and also intertwining the two, and actually generates a lot of fans in that way as well.
Oh, for sure. So I don't do a whole lot of cosplay just because it's like so much work with the the costumes and stuff. And I commend people who do that like for like every video, because like, oh my God, that's so much work. But what I do is like I stream on Twitch, and I play like horror games and stuff like that because I love horror games. So
yes.
Yeah. So that's what I do. I play like Resident Evil and stuff like that.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
Love that. What did you think of I'm sorry, totally sidetracked, but what did you think of that recent Netflix series that they did?
I heard it was terrible, so I didn't even bother.
That's the same. I didn't watch it. We actually got sent it early, but because we had so many other projects going on, like I was like, I don't know. And then the reviews came. I was like, nah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, it's upsetting, but it is what it is.
Love it. All right. Yeah. So and so being a nerd, being sexual, tell me about like, getting into the industry. How has that been for you? Again, we have people that are part of our team that are doing a little bit of both. But
For sure.
but they're also curious. There's people that want to know and get in and how to become, self-employed and doing what they do and exploring their own sexuality.
For sure. I mean, I started in the industry when I was 18. I started stripping. So that was my first kind of introduction to it. And I did that for 2 years. And then the next thing I did was webcamming. So I think that is a great place to start for people who want to do like online making their own like content and stuff like that, is to start with webcamming, because it introduces you to a lot of like new faces all at once. Yeah. And I was webcamming for a bit, and then I still am, but then I expanded into like making my own clips and stuff like that. And now I'm also working for studios. So that's cool.
Let's go. Do you think it's much easier in that way that you can control things? Because we always hear the crazy stories, and I've seen and heard a lot and have friends that get disenfranchised because they get into those situations.
For sure.
Any like pro tips or things that you learned along the way that you suggest and you tell your friends that are contemplating or, that may consider doing what you do and navigating those rough waters?
Yeah, I absolutely recommend doing like webcamming and clip stores if you're just considering going into porn rather than just jumping straight into mainstream. If you're going to do that, just so you kind of like dip your toes in before you start, having sex with other people on camera, because there's like a whole lot that goes into that. Especially, you're going to be very hyper visible when you're doing your porn for studios and stuff. So there's not that what you put on the internet ever really goes away, but that's going to be a whole lot more exposure than if you're just starting off with like webcamming and stuff. So you kind of get used to it. And also there's a point where you can kind of like back out with a whole lot of like negative consequences.
Yeah. What do you think are the top things you learned along the way? Like, what do you think were the best things you learned doing this and getting into it?
I think the best thing I learned was just information about marketing, how to run a business, stuff like that, like sales techniques and stuff. So that's the things that helped me the most. And that's knowledge that I've like paid for like in like consulting and like seminars, and like I've read books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that. So again, we all love sex. We all do it. And that's the taboo we're trying to break. But when you do it for industry, and again, many of my friends have been like, because we have I actually have an upcoming podcast that I'm going to be doing. That's going to be our first like exclusive adult podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, my co-host is going to be getting into the business as a male performer. So we're going to chart his journey as a male performer. And one of the things I talked to him about, because I've worked on sets, is like, hey man, we all have sex. We all love to fuck, but
absolutely,
it's one thing to fuck as, just out here in these streets, but it's one thing to be in the business. Have you ever encountered male talent that couldn't perform, didn't know what the hell they was doing, or just got into it and like, come on, man, like, no.
Oh yeah, people don't understand. People don't understand that like it's so much different than like having sex with your girlfriend in your bedroom, the privacy of your own home, sort of thing. There is an audience, and it's even different from like having sex in like a sex club or something like that, because they're filming it and you have to do it in a certain way, and there's people waiting to get paid and go home. And if you can't get hard or you can't come, people are going to be like, okay, like so there's a lot of pressure for you to perform. And a lot of guys don't understand how difficult that is and how taxing it is physically for your body as well. So, I have worked with talent, who have, like came too early, or it took a really long time for them to come, or they took a really long time for them to get hard, or they couldn't get hard. So like all these problems that you can have, and it's really hard to like control your body like that. That like it's a skill that you need to build. And a lot of people don't really realize that.
Exactly.
Yes, for sure.
So what's your one pro tip for any of my aspiring male performers that are watching this right now? What would you recommend to them?
Be as healthy as humanly possible, eat clean, work out, because this is a very physically demanding job. You need to be in shape. You need to be in the best health possible, because you're you're a sex machine, basically. Like, you need to get hard on time and come on time and be able to fuck the way you need to fuck on camera for how long you need to do it. It's very demanding.
Completely agree. That's what I've said. That's what I tell these guys, especially my boy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we'll see. It's gonna be a fun podcast to chart this journey.
Yes.
So with that being said, so like you are very knowledgeable about that, and I love that. So with that and being in the industry and learning along the way and becoming the star that you are, Jessica,
Thank you.
have you you know, again, you've been making your own content. What is that like as well, being a performer with different companies, but also creating your own content, being your own businesswoman? And do you aspire maybe down the road to run your own like studio and run talent and manage that? What has that journey been like?
Yeah, so I love making my own content because it's something that, like, most of my content, like I collaborate with other people, but most of my own content is solo, and it's like a POV roleplay thing. So it's really all about the viewer. So in that way, it's like different than when I'm filming for a studio, and I'm paying attention to the person I'm having sex with rather than the camera and the viewer sort of thing. And so there's kind of like two different skill sets, except for when I do VR porn. So VR porn is a lot like that. So that's something that I think personally. So people who have a background in camming and like POV solo porn have kind of advantage in terms of skill level when it comes to transitioning to like VR porn.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also I would love to have studios one day and like provide more like work for my community, because a lot of these studios, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but like a lot of studios hire a very specific type of performer and no one else. And I want to give more diverse roles to my community.
Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. As a person of color, representation matters so much.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah. Of course.
We deserve love
too. Yeah. Everyone has sex. You know, people with disabilities, trans people, people of color. Obviously, we all have sex. And we all want to see ourselves in the sexual material that we consume. So,
I love that. I love that. Thank you for being a champion for that, Jessica.
Oh, thank you.
That's the best. I actually had a question that I just lost a second ago, but I love that because you just made me so happy about that. Oh, when you brought up VR, that excited me because I actually just most recently started learning more about that and discovering the VR porn world, because I'm actually working on a project with Meta. I've got a VR film that's going to be dropping next year.
Yeah, I love that.
And yeah, and so because that happened, I was like, you know what? Let me check out this VR porn, and it's unreal.
Oh yeah.
How has that now that that's become now part of the industry changed the industry? Was it already occurring when you got in, or do you remember how that just became a part? Because I think it's so surreal. It's like it's a whole nother mood now. I ain't gonna lie, it's a mood.
Oh yeah, so it's getting really big right now, and I've done a handful of VR scenes, and yeah, again, it's a completely different experience and set of skills that you need to have in order to do a VR scene versus like your typical like boy girl scene or something like that, because you're interacting with a camera who doesn't interact with you. So for some people, it's really awkward their first few scenes because it's like you're dirty talking to a thing that doesn't respond to you.
Yeah.
But if you have those skills, it really translates super well to VR porn if you have those skills with like camming and like solo content and stuff like that.
Love it. Have you checked it out for yourself?
Yes, it's like too intense for me, honestly, because
right? It's cool, but it's also so weird too at the same time.
Like, because, well, like, I don't have a dick, obviously, so it doesn't do the same thing for me for the most part, because I can't be like, oh, that's me, because it's obviously, like, I don't have a dick. But I've, like, watched, like, the beginning of, like, VR porn stuff just to, like, get a feel for it, and, like, I remember this one time when I was watching it, and the girl, like, felt of the guy's arm, and then I felt it on my arm, and I was like, oh, no! It's too much!
Wow. Wow. Okay. I love. You excited me and threw me off a second, because it was something different. Because I've had to get acquainted with that experience, because I'm going to provide that with the film I'm working on dropping next year. So
for sure,
stay tuned, y'all. Your boy Kuya P. Industry, and again, let me shout out Jessica, her OnlyFans. Show her love. I'm gonna have the link in the description below. Make sure you check it out. She's also in Team Skeet's Perv Mom. Go check out her scene, The Magician's Assistant. Again, I'm gonna have those links below. Support the homie Jessica giving me some of her time today.
Thank you.
Industry. So you've been in the biz, just you're climbing up in the game. Have you you're a sexual being. Have you worked with everybody you've wanted to work in the industry thus far? Or do you have a top 3, if you will, that you're looking forward to working with? So that way, when that happens, me and my team can be like, hey, there goes Jessica. She got that cat, or whomever, let's get props.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I just started shooting for studios in March of this year. So no, definitely not yet. I'm still pretty new. But I don't know if there's like people specifically, but I just want to do more generally. I would love to film for like Vixen. Just cool things. There's this one studio in Europe called Hentai. I want to film for them so bad.
Oh, are they like anime or because of hentai?
It's like tentacles. It's like tentacle porn.
Oh, whoa, yeah. I gotta check that out.
It's so amazing and weird, and I want it, like, that's so up my alley of the porn that I want to produce. Is just something niche and weird.
Yo, I love it. You're right. You're so cool, Jessica. I love, because I'm an offbeat cat, so I love cats like just outside the norm. Let's go.
Yeah.
We could totally hang. Awesome. So hentai. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, hold on. I had another thing again. I'm losing it.
No, that's okay.
Game. So outside of this industry, you do the Twitch, and you're slowly starting to work with studios and popping off there. We're gonna get that hentai popping.
Yes.
All right. Jessica. All right. So my fans are going to be your fans, and they're going to want to check you out. We're doing these interviews as part of our road to Exxxotica DC. Have you ever done like adult shows and met your fans at any conventions yet? Because I know you're slowly going to studios and you've been doing like Twitch and all that, but have you ever done shows yet?
So I just went to my first show in Toronto. It was Taboo Toronto.
Okay.
And that was super fun. So that was my first like adult show ever with fans. And then so my next one I'm going to is AVN, and I'll be at X3 as well. And I am hoping to do a few Exxxoticas next year. Unfortunately, I won't be at Exxxotica DC, but you'll see me there eventually.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So how was that meeting your fans? Because I also warn cats, watch yourselves. Just because you see what they do on screen doesn't mean you can do it in person. Show respect. What do you have to say to people in that experience for you when they come and meet you and all of that?
Yeah, well, just everyone has different boundaries. Always ask, never assume that something is cool. Just be like, if you want like a picture, ask. If you want a hug, ask. Everyone has different boundaries, so just ask.
There we go. Yeah, I just want to point that out, because some cats that have seen us go out and do these shows, I'm like, it's not all, these we're all regular people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like these people just because we have sex on screen doesn't mean we're over sexualized. That we'll hug everybody. So don't think that you can do that. So show love, show respect. Number one.
Yes, respect.
All right. So again, we're on the road to Exxxotica DC. I got Jessica Starling. Show her love. Go to OnlyFans. Team Skeet's Perv Mom. As Jessica shows her amazing skills and work, and we're gonna keep on showing love to her as she continues on. Because I'm nerds rule the world, Jessica. I want to flip it back to the nerd stuff, because again, we're trying to change the paradigm here. Yes, you do adult. Yes, I do comics, but I also work in the industry and have done film work there. Not as a performer, but I get in trouble because I'm now it was my wild and crazy days before, but I still work on sets and have fun. What nerd stuff like let's let people in on you said earlier you do Resident Evil on the Twitch. Just tell me some other nerd things that maybe the rest of the world doesn't know about you.
Oh, nerd things. Yeah.
What do you get nerdy about that? And maybe that aren't even traditional stuff, like I had people on that like we get nerdy over politics, or just like they like nerdy on, you can be nerds on anything.
Yeah, I read political theory all the time. Politics.
Election day, by the way, people.
Yeah, for you Americans, yes.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you're Canada.
Yeah, I'm Canadian. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. I love it.
Yeah. So I read a lot of political theory and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm really into like death metal and stuff.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, so I'm nerdy about like music and politics and art and a lot of things. I'm just like an all-around nerd, honestly. And then it's, of course, I'm nerdy about video games. I game all the time. I really like horror games. I really like RPGs and like strategy games.
Okay.
Yeah, so on Twitch, I play a lot of Resident Evil. I play a lot of like Dead by Daylight. If I'm playing with friends, I'll be playing like Overwatch or something like that.
All right. I love that. And it's good to know because, again, as we've been doing these, we're trying to make a lot of friends with y'all because we're trying to bridge these industries. We get a lot of game stuff. I could send some free games your way, Jessica. We'd love for you to game with us and build out these relationships and not just talk about this. We're trying to just change the paradigm and you know, and have you guys on our show as we do these things and have fun and that show the full dimensions of ourselves. And so, Jessica, thank you for coming through. Any other things we want to promote? Again, Team Skeet's Perv Mom, your OnlyFans. Any last words for my people as they become fans of you, Jessica?
For sure. If you want to dip your toes into the OnlyFans experience, you can follow me on my free OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessica Starling free. You can follow me on Twitter at Jessica Starling XO. No, that's Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Jessica Starling XO. Sorry, I have so many things. But on Twitter at Jessica Starling, but that first E is a 3. That's backwards. No, it's not. There we go.
I have the links in the description, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense. Follow me on all the things. You can
all the things. All right, y'all. It's Jessica Starling and your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World, the road to Exxxotica DC, and hopefully soon we'll have Jessica in person and on the show later as we keep these things rolling and showing love to our amazing friends over there in adult world, which we're all in the same world, y'all. So let's tear down those borders and let's all have fun together. Love y'all.
Hell yeah.